Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams. And today I thought we'd do something different. People are always talking about how there's all different types of gold pans. And you know how much I love my Garrett Super Sluice. But there's also this weird thing called a Gold Hog. And it's this weird, funky looking sluice box pan. Isn't that weird? I know a lot of you guys have seen this thing, but my question is what's better? My trusty dusty Garrett Super Sluice Gold Pan or the Gold Hog Pan? I'm not really sure, so we're gonna find out. But not only that, I got something else. A little secret that the old timers used to get gold out of hard rock. And I haven't seen anybody make a video on this. So strap in, hold on, and get ready because it's about to get funky monkey in here. Now, there's a reason why Minelab made their pans blue. They said that it was easier to see gold in this thing if it was blue. Me, I like the green pan that shows up really nice, and I'm used to that, and I've been using it forever and a day. This thing, this is a funky contraption, and I'm pretty sure that it acts like a portable sluice, but we're gonna try it out. And we're gonna be scientific about this, okay? We're gonna put in 6 little tiny pieces of gold, all ranging in different sizes, and then we're gonna go through and see which one of these is actually good at capturing it. And of course, this will put to rest anybody who says that I pan too aggressively, okay? I'm telling you, when you're working with gold, it has a specific gravity of 19.3, if everything is the same size in the pan, gold will never come out. And you can't slosh it out either. And of course, we'll use the different classifiers that come with it. This is the Minelab, and of course, this is the Garrett Super Sluice. They're both 1/4-inch classifiers, but the Minelab has these funky handles on the side, you know, like you're steering a bus. And somewhere inside of this video, I'm gonna show you how to get gold out of that super hard quartz that doesn't take any effort. You're really gonna wanna see this. I know, enough jaw jacking, Jeff. Let's see which pan is better. I'm getting to it. Jeez, you guys are a tough crowd. If you get a brand new gold pan that you've never used before, you have to season it. And all that means is that you're gonna get the oils out of that pan. You're gonna really scuff and scratch that thing up, okay? Because if not, oils on there will make little tiny gold flow right up and out. So you gotta season that pan. It's really simple. Now you can use a Brillo pad, or you can use sandpaper, or if you don't have that stuff, you can just use gravel. And all you're doing is you're scratching it up like that. You're gonna scar it up and score it. And that way, not only will that help the little tiny gold get trapped, but it takes the oils out of there from the factory. You see how that works? So make sure you do that to any new pan that you get, because you'll see the water bead right up on that oil, and a lot of that gold can float right out with that oil. So do that first. Actually, this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is where all the dirt is that I dumped my panning tub at, so I'm really curious. But we're gonna have 6 pieces of gold in there, but first, I'm gonna put some classified dirt in there. And hopefully I don't find any cat poo in there, because my cats love leaving me little gifts everywhere. They're so thoughtful, huh? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill up this little bucket, and this is gonna represent a full pan of material. And we'll see how these items handle that. Doesn't that sound like fun? All right, I got my little bucket filled up. Oh, that's a heavy munker. All right, now let's go take a look at the gold that we're gonna be putting in there. All right, we got 6 pieces. Beautiful looking AU right there, and we're looking at 0.5. You see them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. All right, I got my 6 pieces of gold. Man, that's some tiny gold. All right, we're gonna dump it right here on the top, like such. I'm gonna stratify just a little, get that to get down into the middle. All right, here we go. Here we go. Get over here to my trusty dusty Garrett Super Sluice. Oh, that water's cold. And yeah, you're gonna get wet. Oh, I'm gonna get plenty wet. All right, make sure everything's washed out of that pan, because you don't want to cross-contaminate. Because you might say, oh my gosh, I found gold. Yeah, you found gold in your pan from the last excursion. All right, so we got this. Oh, and I gotta put some jet dry in there too. Just a little bit, nothing much. All right, here we go. Oh, that's a heavy monkey. Yeah, that's a full pan. That is a full pan, Bubba. That is a full pan. I want you to see this. Look at that. Is that a full pan? Huh? Oh, that's a full pan. Now, the key is to stratify your material, okay? It's like kneading dough. Because you're gonna want that gold because you need some dough. Yeah, I know, don't give up my day job, right? All right. Wow, that is a full pan. All right. Let's see if we can do this. So what I'm doing is I'm effectively getting all the heavies to drop to the bottom by stratifying it. And I know a lot of you guys out there say, Jeff, you're too aggressive, you're shaking it too hard. No, that material is gonna drop right to the bottom really fast. Good thing it's not snowing or raining out here because I'd freeze to death. All right, let's see what we got. Any takers out there, huh? Any takers? Okay. And what I like to do is I like to bring the material back into the pan, swirl it, and get any material that might have been stuck on the edge to go back out into the center of the pan. All right. And then I tap it. And the reason why I tap it is I want all the heavies and the gold to drop to the very front crease. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my gosh. All right. I got some ironstone in there, which is a no-brainer. All right, you gonna do the Williams wiggle? Oh, wow. Look at that piece. Holy cow. There's no... Well, this is gonna be hard for me to judge because evidently there's more gold in my backyard than there is in most people's creeks. So, I think that was an original one there. And I can see, look at this, I got some 100 mesh up in there. I'll take a picture of that, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there's so much gold in my backyard. Well, if I could capture this little tiny gold, I know I'm doing good. I'll get a snapshot of that. Now real quick, look at this. This is a brand new gold pan. You see how the water is beating up on the oils? See that from the manufacturer? You don't want that. That's why you've got to season it before you use it. And you only need to season it once. And back during the gold rush, the old timers would season their metal pans by putting them in the fire. It served two purposes. One, it cooked all the oils off because the old timers knew that that would be a problem. And two, it blackened the pan up. So it was much easier to see the little tiny pieces of gold in the pan if the pan was black. Do you see how that works? It's really cool. All right, so I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put all this gold in this gold pan and we're gonna try it again, okay? Wow, that's some super fine gold. Look at that. That's at least 100 mesh in there, you see it? Glisten, I know it's hard on a GoPro, but now we're gonna try out Elon Musk's gold pan. Yeah, the Tesla 2. It looks like one, don't it? Don't it look like a Tesla truck, huh? I don't know if I'd want one, but we're gonna try it out anyway. All right, I got 6 more pieces. I think I got 6, actually probably more. That's a big one, that should be no problem. And I got these little tiny flakes. Blow the dirt off. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces. So we got to look for those 11 pieces. It's not even registering on a scale. It's so small. I should file a claim back here, right? This place has got more gold than Fort Knox. All right, so we're gonna fill up our little baby bucket again. And then we're gonna run it through Elon Musk's gold pan and see how it fares with my Garrett Super Sluice. Here's our 6 somewhat tiny pieces of gold. Dump them in there. Just like that. Give them a little shake, a little rattle, and a little roll. You knew I had to say it. Oh, I know. Get on with it, Joe. Jeez, you guys are a tough bunch. All right. Now, they say that you need a lot of water for this guy, and we're about to find out if I got enough. All right, this is practically brand new. I put a new pad in it this morning. All right, let's see how it does. Oh. Okay. Remember what I told you. When you get a lot of material in your pan, first thing you do is you knead it, just like you're doing bread, the dough. And that's gonna help stratify any of that material down to the bottom, the heavies. And that's what you want. And it's really gonna minimize the amount of time that you play with this thing. All right, here's what I got. Now, the way this thing works, it's kind of like a handheld sluice box. What you do is you have to rock it back and forth, and it serves 2 purposes. It stratifies the material as you're working it back and forth, and it washes out all the lighter material. And just like in a sluice box, any of the heavies are gonna get trapped in those riffles, which is the Gold Hog mat. So we're gonna give it a shot. And I have to admit, that was pretty fast. I went through that a lot faster than I did with my Garrett Super Sluice. All right, so now the trick is you gotta take this mat out, and then you gotta, just like you would in a sluice box, you're gonna put it inside of a gold pan and wash out the riffles and anything in the bottom of this box. So you do ultimately have to have a gold pan. But from what I just saw, you can process material a lot faster when you run it this way, because all that light stuff just flows right out the side. So let me get my gold pan, which is hiding. And like I said, make sure you clean out your pans, okay? That's very important. Because you don't want to cross-contaminate. You don't want even the smallest gold. And believe me, I know it sounds hard to believe, but little tiny pieces of gold will get trapped in little indentations in your pan. And I've seen some guys take a punch and punch holes in here. So the gold will sit in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that mat out. I should have brought it. I guess you need a screwdriver to pull them out because the water creates suction. Let me see what I can get. Was that Churro? Yeah, we got a cat named Churro. It was either that or Munchie. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm using a stick that I found, and I guess you could do that too, right? So I'm gonna take my mat, put it over here, and I'm gonna turn it upside down just like I would a mat from a sluice box. And I'm gonna open those riffles up just like I do on any other mat from a sluice box to make sure any gold that might be trapped. And then of course we have to rinse him out too. Now the moment of truth. Now take a look at this. I want you to see this. See, there's hardly any material in there. See that? There's not very much material at all. So I might not have to really pan anything. I'll just give it a little bit. Just to get some of that lighter material out. Then I'm gonna give it a tap. Then we're gonna see what we got. Get you over here in the sunlight and see if we can find our 6 pieces of gold. Remember, do the Williams wiggle. Williams wiggle. I can! Well, I think my 6 pieces are in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And about 10 others. And you can see the super fine gold in there. It's a super tiny piece, and I'll put up a snapshot of it. And this is coming from the same spot that I just dug. I went down another 2 inches. That tells me that there's a lot of gold back here. I need to file a claim back here, don't I? And of course, you know I'm gonna be giving all of this gold away, and I'm gonna dig up some of this dirt and give that away too. And I'll tell you how to do that here at the end of the video. But my conclusion is this, that if you're gonna be out in the field sampling a lot and you are limited on space and weight, I would just go with the Garrett Garrett super sluice with a classifier. And that's it, maybe a small shovel. But if you can pack in a lot of material and you want to try to go through a lot of material in a short amount of time, then this guy works pretty good. But the thing that I don't like is that I compared photos of the gold and I noticed that the big piece was missing. Now, I don't know if that's because he's stuck in here and didn't come out. I checked and I didn't see it. And I'm gonna go through my panning tub water and find out if he's in there. I feel safer using this than I do this because I'm so worried that when I'm doing this, that it's gonna actually flow some of that material out, especially when I'm going the other direction. Because remember, on these mats, they're designed to have water go over a specific direction. Water's supposed to go this way, not this way. I don't know if that means anything because obviously I didn't design the mats. And I do love these mats. These mats work really well and I use them in all of our equipment. But I don't know how comfortable I feel about doing this and throwing material out the sides. And with this, I know from previous experience that it's gonna stay inside the pan no matter what. And you saw the really, really fine gold that I was getting. So if any of you guys have had experience with this Gold Hog pan, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if I'm doing something wrong with it, go ahead and tell me because right now I'm not convinced. Right now, I'm still gonna stick with my Garrett Super Sluice because I really like this thing. And it's light and it's easy to pack in. This is a little bit heavier and you still need a gold pan at the end of the day. Oh, that's right. I got a big surprise for you guys. Remember I was telling you about how to get gold out of quartz like the old timers used to do back in the day? Come here, take a look at this. Now, for most of you guys out there that look for gold in hard rock or what's referred to as lode gold, or in Australia, reef gold, you know that it can be a lot of work trying to get the gold out of this quartz because quartz is extremely hard. It measures 6.5 to 7 on Mohs test. For some of us that don't have the milling equipment to get the gold out of here, that can be really challenging because for most of us, we just have one of these or we have a small little tiny mill that we have to run everything through. But the old timers, they knew how to get the gold out of here really easy, and it's called roasting your quartz. And there are some places in America and in Australia where they have these huge ovens that are set up, and that's all they do. They take the quartz or the reef out of the mines and they wash it and then they put it inside of these ovens and they roast it all day and they pull it out, throw it in some water, and this stuff becomes super soft because the heat gets in there and it alters it. It makes it really easy after you roast this stuff to break it down with just about anything to extract the gold. And anybody can do it. If you have a lot of this stuff laying around and you've been neglecting to try to process it because it's so hard, well now all you have to do is roast it. I'll show you, come here, look. Now that is a fire. All right, safety first. Give me a second on this, okay? So you're gonna get that fire nice and hot, you see that? Like you're gonna be cooking up some carne asada. And then you just put your quartz inside the fire. Like that. Ooh, smoky. And we're gonna get that really nice and hot. I'm gonna let that cook for about maybe 30, 45 minutes. I'm just gonna keep putting wood on it. Now you can speed it up by putting a blow dryer in there, and that will force air in there and make it even hotter. Put a metal pipe on it, run it in there. Whew, it'll make this go by so much faster. See how those are getting red hot down in there? You want as much coals on there as possible. All right, now I've let this sit for about 30 minutes. Ideally, you want it in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. But we're gonna pull it out now and see if it's ready to go. See that? See them sitting in those hot coals down in there? Be careful. You be careful with that. Ooh, ooh. All right, have your bucket ready. Yeah. Hear them bubbling in there? Probably burning a hole through the bottom. Yeah, you can hear them bubbling in there, can't you? Oh, they're angry. Why? Because they got to give up their gold without a fight. That's why. So I'm going to let this sit for just a second. When it stops boiling, I know it's ready to come out. Ooh, that water's super hot. See the steam coming up off of that? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to pour them out and see if it's ready. Look at that. Look at that. See how they're just falling apart? Look at that. it's just mush. Look at that. This will be easy to process now. And this was super hard quartz. See that? Oh, that looks real good. And that was only about a half hour. I gotta know if there's any gold in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pan this and see if I got any gold coming out of this. Because gold usually precipitates and forms inside of these little fractures and joints in the rock. And so when it breaks apart, the gold will naturally wanna fall out of there. So I'm gonna scoop this up, classify it, pan it, and see if we got any kind of gold coming out of it. Now, if I would have left this in the fire a little bit longer, say another half hour, it would be even softer. Do you see the point? And that's why roasting is so critical if you want to break this quartz down into stuff that's easy to manage as far as processing. And the old timers knew that. They were pretty smart back then, huh? All right, let's pan this out real quick because I'm really curious. Now, anytime you're messing with lode gold, reef golds, make sure you get a hand lens, at least 10 times strong, a jeweler's loupe, because it's gonna be easier to inspect that really small, ultrafine crystalline gold that's locked up in the quartz. Because a lot of times it's not gonna be like some of this placer gold that's so easy to spot. I know, Jeff, get on with it. Jeez. You wanna hear it again, huh? And yeah, you're gonna get wet. All right. Specimen gold is a little bit trickier of an animal. And what I should do is run it through an impact mill or a roller mill, and that way I know I've got every speck out. But I'm hoping that I got something to look at that's big enough that it's gonna stay behind. But just keep that in mind as the next step is to run it through like a chain mill, impact mill, or roller mill. Or a ball mill if you happen to have one. All right. Williams wiggle coming up, baby. Let me get my glasses on. Oh, they're so dirty. I can't see nothing. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Oh, ooh. I got a ton of sulfides. See that? All that silvery material. Let's see if I got any gold trapped in the sulfides. Do a little Alabama bump. Oh yeah, right there. Right there. Really thin little tiny pieces of it. See that? And there's another one right there. Wow. All right, let me take a look at that with my jeweler's loupe. Oh wow, I'm gonna get a picture of that. That is cool. They're flat and rusty looking. That's definitely lode gold. And a lot of sulfides. That's pretty cool. Yeah, right there. Now what you can do is put all your sulfides that you get out of your pan over a miller table and concentrate those and then roast those with either some salt or with charcoal. That'll speed up the process. And by doing so, you oxidize the sulfur out of the sulfides, leaving only the iron and if any gold behind. You see how that works? And then you can use gravitational methods for extraction. Now for those of you out there that don't know, every month we give away 10 bags of pay dirt from our drift mine. There's gobs and gobs of gold in these bags, and these are the richest bags you're ever gonna see. They look something like this.
What is that?
And every bag comes with a 1 ounce silver bar. And this month we're giving away this big honkin' nugget that we just pulled out of our drift mine. And if that wasn't enough, we give away a brand new Gold Monster 1000 every month too. I mean, this is fantastic. It's like Christmas every month. And with gold pushing $1,000 an ounce, oh man, it's definitely worth it. Now, if you want to get involved with any of this, you just have to look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks something like that. You're gonna click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you instantly qualify to get your hands on any of this stuff. And this is the perfect time. And you know it's just gonna keep going up and up. So get on board while the getting is good. And I'll see you on the next video.
Condition 2 cameras are on. Winds are okay, Steve. Westerly at about 10 knots. Coming on. I'm indicating 004. How does that look? Looks good, Steve, and all systems are okay here. The winds are westerly at 10 knots. Okay. This is NASA 1 calling 10 seconds now. 10 seconds, roger. 0,